Today's video is for anyone who works in any helping profession, and I want to talk to you about this invisible backpack you might be carrying. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Kim Colegrove. I'm an author and the owner of Pause First Academy, where we offer wellness and resilience training and support for society's warriors, protectors, guardians, and healers. One thing you all have in common, you're all helpers. You are all out there trying to help society, trying to help people in one way or the other. And one thing I know about you for sure is that many of you are depleted. You are struggling with burnout and compassion fatigue. And as one of my dear friends likes to say, this is when your give a you know what meter is stuck on I don't give a you know what. So play along with me here for a few minutes and imagine this backpack you're carrying. And the backpack is filled with stress and chronic stress and threats and trauma and traumatic events and all of the negative things that you've encountered in life, everything that has made you feel depleted and burned out and stressed out. And every year, and with every stress or traumatic event you encounter, you add another rock to that backpack. And here are some of the things you might be carrying. These are the things that are the rocks. I'm going to start with ACEs, which are adverse childhood experiences. And if you don't know about ACEs, it's okay. I'm not going to take a deep dive into that, but if you want to know more, I can always help you learn more about ACEs. In a nutshell, if you had a bumpy childhood or you experienced trauma in your childhood, those traumas, those stressful or negative events in your childhood can be referred to as adverse childhood experiences. There was a study done in the 90s, and we learned a lot about how ACEs can impact you in adulthood. Next is personal stress. We all have personal stress. It doesn't matter what your profession, what your job, or whether or not you're employed, everybody has personal stress. Then there's work stress, and work stress can be many different things. It can be the work itself, it can be coworkers, it can be the organization, it can be your supervisors. That's another rock that you're carrying in that backpack. And then there's chronic stress. A lot of times that is a result of these helping professions. And then there's trauma. This could be your own trauma or just witnessing being exposed to trauma. That's actually known as secondary trauma, being exposed to and impacted by the trauma of others. Then there's vicarious trauma, which is similar to secondary trauma. It's about being impacted by the trauma of others, the trauma you witness. Vicarious trauma changes a person's world view. Ugh. So a person goes from that, somewhat positive, upbeat individual who, views the world as kind of okay. And then after some years in these helping professions, that same individual ends up viewing the world as a dark, bleak place. You see the worst of the worst. And so you start to think, the world is just dark and people are bad. And then there's compassion fatigue. And oh my gosh, for anyone who works in any helping profession, you know what this is and you know what I mean. This is very common across all these helping professions. And then there's burnout. Burnout does not have to be related to trauma like some of these other heavy rocks, but burnout is very common. And when you combine all of this together and you take a look at everything you experience and endure and deal with, and you think of each one of these as rocks that you just keep adding to this backpack, you're probably a pretty resilient individual, probably a pretty smart, strong person, and you can probably take on a lot. People who get into helping professions are typically people who, at least in the beginning, can take on a lot. But over time, over years or over a career, if you don't have ways that you stop, take off that backpack, rummage through it, take some of those things out, do an assessment of what you're carrying, get rid of some of it. If you don't have any process or tools or ways that you offload some of that from your backpack, then year over year, that backpack just gets heavier and heavier. And so, what I am recommending to you is that you pause right now in your life. Think about what I'm saying, review what you see on the screen here, and do some self evaluation. Pause for some self reflection. I don't want to overwhelm you. So today it's just about pausing, thinking about what I've said, doing a little self reflection. So, taking a few moments to bring your awareness to yourself, because I know how you are and I know how you're built, and your awareness is almost exclusively on others. You are the fixer, the saver, the helper, the rescuer. You are the one everyone can always count on. You're the one who always shows up. And you're that at work, and you're probably also that at home, and you're probably that in your friend group too. It's how you're built. Unfortunately, sometimes you're so good at that you give everything away and there's just nothing left for you. You don't even take the time to pause and do a self-assessment. It's just go, 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 power through, keep on keeping on. I'm here to offer you a simple process to slow down, pause, and take an assessment of what's going on in your life. Because once you're honest with yourself, once you take that assessment, you take a look at yourself, you kind of take a look at your life, you take off that backpack and look in it to see what all you're carrying. With that level of awareness, that check in with yourself, you'll be better situated to make some changes. If you just keep powering through, that backpack keeps getting heavier and heavier, and you just keep your legs moving, and the thought in the back of your head is, I'm all right, I can take it, I can push through, and when I retire, then I'll chill, then I'll relax, then I'll take care of myself. I'm here to tell you it does not always work out that way, and the best time to start preparing for retirement is today. And I mean that even if today is your first day on the job. Today is the best day to start preparing for retirement. I meet way too many people who have this plan that I'm okay, I'm just I got to do what I got to do, I can keep it up, and when I retire, that's when I'll relax. I want to convince you to pause right now, no matter where you are. Take a self assessment and then get and stay connected with me and find some ways that you can begin to take better care of yourself. So, here's my suggestion: start here. Take a moment, pause this video, come back to it later. Find a day, 20 or 30 minutes when you have a little time to do this. And here's what you'll do: come back here, work your way to this part of the video, get something to write on and something to write with, and begin your self assessment. And you'll start by asking yourself, which of these apply to you? Which of these are you carrying in your backpack? Sip of coffee before it gets cold. Next, you're going to ask yourself, which of these apply to you? These are common issues that helpers across all the helping professions are struggling with: irritability, depression, anxiety, sleep issues, hyperarousal, intrusive thoughts, avoidance, lack of intimacy, flashbacks, risky behavior, trouble concentrating, guilt, regret, and unfortunately, suicidal thoughts. So you'll take a few minutes here. You can pause the video for as long as you'd like and think about this, maybe jot a couple of things down. So This is just about awareness, you becoming aware and getting honest with yourself. Maybe taking a few minutes to sit with yourself with something to write on, something to write with, and looking through what I've presented today and thinking about which of these common issues are impacting you and being honest with yourself about how heavy your backpack is. In the next video, I'm going to take you through a very simple 10-question stress assessment. You can answer these 10 questions, get a score, kind of see where your stress level is right now, and then we'll move forward from there. That's it for today. Thanks for being here. Coffee with Kim. I just made that up. Maybe we'll start doing that more often. Coffee with Kim. I don't know. Cognac with Kim, something. If you're looking for ways to improve your wellness and increase your resilience, then definitely go check out Pause First Academy. It's academy.pausefirst.com. I've got freebies over there. There's a free members community. You might want to start there and just kind of check out what we've got going on. I also have a $5 a month Well Warrior Culture membership that's loaded up with courses and resources, all kinds of good stuff. So be sure and check out Pause First Academy.